Here are 3 things I think every paramotor pilot should absolutely fly with. These have saved me more times than I want to admit. Number 1 is boots. Number 2 is gloves. And number 3 is goggles. Now, let's talk about each of those 3. The first one is boots, and I'm a big advocate of wearing boots because boots have personally saved me from breaking my ankles more times than I want to admit. Recently, I had a pretty unpleasant landing, which I will talk about in a future video, and I ended up actually hurting both of my ankles. My theory is that if I had not had my thick Carhartt boots with good ankle support, that I probably would have shattered both of my ankles way worse than I did. It would have been horrible. Thankfully, I got away really, really lucky and barely hurt myself for what happened. But had I not had boots on, that would have probably not been the case. So I'm a big fan of boots, having some ankle support, something that if you roll your ankle with 70 pounds on your back, that you have something there to kind of save you, to kind of help you, to kind of act as additional support. I mean, at the end of the day, dudes, we're running with up to 70, 80 pounds of weight on our back at full sprint at times. We're launching them, we're landing them. We may even have a motor out landing that's crosswind, downwind, in rocks, whatever. Having something that can help act as a little bit of support for those ankles can make a big difference if you need them. I wear my boots religiously. Yes, they are heavy. They're a little less fun to run in than my shoes. And maybe if I'm flying around at the beach or in a grass field and not really doing much, that's a different story. But if I am flying in a rougher environment, I am flying on longer distances, I am flying over unpleasant scenarios, situations, environments, I'm going to wear those boots. I'm going to go that extra mile, and it's saved me quite a few times. Now, the second thing is gloves, and this one should be obvious as well. But throughout my years, there's been a handful of things that have hurt my hands. The first one being lines, those brake lines, glider lines, any lines. If they have tension and they are moving, they can slice through skin really easily. Now, it's super unlikely when you're in the air, but having gloves on when you're flying through the air act as kind of this extra cushion. And I find that the hands don't deteriorate and get tired and get raw nearly as fast. If you're flying a lot in a short period of time, like several times in several different days, then you may consider having those gloves to just act as that additional little help, that additional little cushion. Now, the other thing that gloves come in handy for is if, for whatever reason, hopefully not, you fall down, you have something there to slide on. It's the same with motorcycles. If you ride a motorcycle, it's not common knowledge to ride with gloves. Not everybody does, each to their own, but I always wear gloves. I always wore gloves riding motorcycles. I try to always wear gloves flying paramotors. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what gloves would you recommend? I personally use a Fly racing glove from Amazon. Here's a picture of them, and a link is in the description. I have found these to be the most comfortable for summertime flying. Obviously, wintertime flying, you're going to be using big, thick gloves that are going to change how well you can grab things. But in the summertime, when you can wear nice, thin gloves, I have found these to be super comfortable. The 99-cent ones that you can buy from Home Depot that look like this also work really, really well. I like to have something that has a little bit more grip to it, that isn't super slippery, and I like something that's wind resistant if I can get it, because as the temperatures start to drop, that wind resistant comes in handy, but that's not always the case. These are what I use. Is any one pair perfect? No, but I highly recommend it. Now, the third thing is goggles, and this one gets people sometimes. Here's the reason that I say that you should always fly with goggles. Over the long term, over lots of years, over lots of hours, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, if you don't have good eye protection, the wind will damage your eyes. Ask me how I know. Ask a lot of the people who have been old timers who've been flying for long periods of time. Ask them how their eyes are. If you don't go that extra little step to make sure that there's absolutely no wind getting in your eyes, then it can build, it will build, and it will lead to eye damage over a long period of time. Now, I used to just wear sunglasses, like regular sunglasses that you drive with. Those did not do enough. And I had an 1,100-mile cross-country flight I did where in 11 days I flew 40 hours. And by the end of those 40 hours, I did eye damage that even a year later, I'm still recovering from. So it's a big deal. Goggles are not that hard to wear. They're not that big of a deal to wear, but they really can protect your eyes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You wear prescription glasses, right? How can you wear goggles? My goggles are made so that I can put glasses underneath because I too wear prescription glasses. And if you are a prescription glass wearer, you should always make sure you wear those glasses. So I double up. I got my goggles, I got my glasses. Is it annoying? Sure. But at the end of the flight, if it's been a 1-2 hour flight, if I've been pressing speed bar and going faster, if I've been diving around, whatever, my eyes don't hurt. There's no wind in them. They're not dry. They're not red. They don't feel the pain. All that stuff. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Okay, guys, that is all for this video. I wanted to hop on here as well and let you guys know that we just released our 2024 training schedule. We've got classes starting in March at Salton Sea, California, then picking up again in April through October here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We did just add 1, maybe 2 additional training classes down in Corpus Christi, Texas in November and December. That is only because we had a lot of people asking for them. Those spots are going to be super limited. Go ahead and check out our website for our 2024 training dates and information on our 10-day training program that we offer. We thank you guys for watching. We thank you for supporting us, supporting the business, learning to fly with us, and we will see you in the next video.